Hi, it's Sally back again doing some more Magic Mike moments. And today I'm with Maurice Harvey-Hall, who's up in Townsville. Hi, Maurice.
How you going, Sally? Thanks for having me on. I really
Yeah,
appreciate the opportunity.
brilliant. I'm so looking forward to having a chat with you. So, Maurice is a specialist in skillful thinking and purposeful living. As a mindset expert, he helps entrepreneurs change their relationship with their limiting beliefs. Whoa, that sounds awesome. So, do you want to tell me a little bit how you got into all of this, Maurice?
Yeah, okay. So I guess my modality or my discipline is I'm actually a mental health nurse.
Right.
So I've been nursing now for a good 11 years, but prior to that, I'm actually a landscaper by trade, and I'd spend a lot of time working with Japanese and Oriental style gardens. Now, it's an interesting combination because one of the things that I felt really drawn towards was the Eastern style gardens, and not necessarily just because they looked nice, but it was basically the design around them and how the gardens were a reflection of the mind.
Wow,
Okay, so
awesome.
when you create stillness within a garden and when you create harmony within a garden, then it can actually have an impact on your psyche and your well-being and your state of mind. So that was really the underpinnings of it. There's this beautiful meeting that you could then play with, and that meeting was nature, and you've got a beautiful picture of it in the background of you, and the way that the Japanese and the Oriental style gardens looked at things was to replicate nature, because nature creates order out of chaos, whereas humans create chaos out of order. So I was just trying to bring people back to that. And then I did fall into nursing, but the idea was to bring Eastern philosophy into Western nursing. And then just through that process came across particular Eastern-based psychotherapies. And then through that process, just working with people, and I found that in particular times of need, and when people were feeling quite low and they just didn't really understand what was going on, I was able to add some context to their lives, and in doing that, obviously adding context to my life as well. And I thought, wow, this is a really beautiful space. I'd really like to continue on with this and take it further. So and that's the point I'm at the moment. Been working in private practice for about 2 or 3 years, and still within the public system, but slowly moving out and expanding my horizons, and I guess the wellness industry more so.
Yeah, I just love that. That's just awesome. That whole correlation with the calm and the peace of the garden, relating that to the person. It's just beautiful. So, sort of along the way, what challenges did you have to overcome? It's a different area. No, I don't know anyone that's sort of doing this sort of thing. It's wonderful.
Sure. Look, I had lots of challenges in my life. Really coming from an Eastern background and living in Australia and in the West, and growing up in a small town where there wasn't too many people of Eastern influence. So I grew up with a lot of racial prejudice and disconnection and separation, and which really affected me, I guess, as a person, because I sort of turned my back on my own cultural heritage because I wanted to be connected to others. So for a good while there, there was this part of me that was that I knew was there, but I just didn't know how to find it. So the way that I did that in my younger days was I used a lot about that.
Cut out for a second.
Am I back online? Yeah.
Yeah, back there, darling.
So to fill that void, I used a lot of recreational drugs. I ended up with an addiction to cannabis for about 15 years. The interesting thing about that was I used my addiction to search for deeper parts of myself, and probably one of the greatest, as much as it was one of the most challenging times in my life, it was one of the most enlightening times in my life to go down such a dark place, but then have to have the capacity and the resourcefulness to then pull yourself out of that place to then go, wow, okay, I don't need that medium to find that part of myself. And then the I guess the real journey of connecting or reconnecting back to self and putting myself back together, and then being able to use the wisdom that the knowledge and the experience equal the wisdom, and then being able to use that wisdom to then share with others into this space at the moment.
Wow.
Yeah. So that was probably about 10 to 12 years ago. So, I haven't looked back there, and being able to use that experience to then help other people in similar situations. Yeah. But, probably more so coming to an understanding of the mind and how it can limit us and keep us in our own imprisonment in a way, if you want to look at it from that perspective.
Yeah, it's so true. Wow, thank you for sharing that journey with us. I mean, whoa, really would have taken on so much, as you said, all that wisdom through having gone through those experiences. And I'm all about the mind. The mind really directs us and shapes our actions every day. So it's wow, it just gives me goosebumps. I just love it.
It's a magical place to be.
Yeah, totally. So with your niche, which is sort of entrepreneurs, what do you think is the biggest issue facing them, or the biggest challenge for them?
Yeah, okay. So, my niche with entrepreneurs is interesting because I really had to look at myself and think, well, who am I and what space do I exist in? And I've always been an entrepreneur. I've had my own businesses, and I've worked from nothing into something. I've created areas that I guess in some way haven't necessarily been created before, and just adding your own bits and pieces to it. What I've found in those areas is you're constantly outside of your comfort zone, and you're constantly challenging yourself and moving forward and evolving and shifting and changing and being creative and innovative and all those beautiful, lovely words that we can throw in there. However, what also exists within that magical space is self-doubt, anxiety, fear of the unknown, the imposter syndrome.
Sorry, what was that?
The imposter syndrome, so we're constantly the imposter. These spaces and these parts of self that appear that try to bring us back into our comfort zone, back into that place of safety. Yeah. And through that journey as an entrepreneur, you're constantly in that space. So if you buy into it, if you listen to it too much, it will limit you in nature. Yeah. Okay. And when, as an entrepreneur, you don't want to be limited in nature. You want to be, constantly expanding and growing and being a part of something bigger. So they're the areas that I work with people, because people who come to me, they're either stuck in a rut, or there's a plateau or a stagnant period within their lives. Yep. They've done these things before, but they get to a certain point and, they've given in, or they've gone back to their comfort zone. But now they're at a point where they want to break through those, and it's beautiful at those points in time because, I'm there to run alongside them, to ride alongside them, to walk alongside them, to, within their psychological journey, and go, hey, that's okay. It's okay to feel that you're actually in the right space. Yep. So it's about changing the relationship with these parts of self that usually have limiting natures, and being aware of that. So through our conversations and just time that people spend with me, we're able to pull that apart and see it from a different light, see it from a different perspective. And the key is changing the relationship with the stuff that holds you back. Yeah. Okay, because you can't get rid of that stuff. It's not supposed to. We don't want to cut that out of our lives. We actually want to use that to drive us forward. Yep. But first, we need to see it, be aware of it, and then change our relationship with it. Yeah. So they're probably the greatest challenges I see. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that was just leading into my next question, actually. So, what would you say would be your 3 top tips to help these entrepreneurs overcome these issues?
Yeah, okay. So awareness is the top 2, or probably awareness is the top 3, but awareness of different things. So number 1, we need to be aware of our mind, okay? Yep. And realise or come to the realisation that we are not our mind, and our mind is only a part of us, okay? Just that our hands are a part of us, our feet are a part of us, our heart, our lungs, our kidneys, all of these different organs are a part of us. You know, we don't walk around going, well, I'm my kidneys, you know, going, oh, I've got some kidneys that help me filter blood. The mind is also a part of us, and the interesting thing about the mind is it runs a default mechanism. It's a software. And the main purpose of the mind is safety and survival. So first we need to be aware of this computer system that we're pretty much running, and how it, what its mandate is, what its problem-solving mandate is, and how it constantly wants to keep us alive and keeps us safe. It doesn't necessarily want to, it doesn't care about us achieving anything. It just wants to keep us safe. And that's the main basic mechanism of it. So number one, to be aware of that, because, you know, you can't change anything you don't acknowledge. And the first step to acknowledgement is awareness. Yeah. So become aware of this beautiful, beautiful piece of equipment that we have. And number one, to be then aware of how your mind works. Because even though we all have a very similar mind and it has all the same default mechanism, your mind will be quite unique to you, because you have your own experiences, your own scripts, your own stories that you're running, you know, your own aspirations, your goals, all those sorts of things. So just be aware of what the script is, what the story is that you tell yourself on a constant basis, that either moves you forward or holds you back. So number one, awareness of the mind. Number two, awareness of your mind. And number three, and this is the kicker, because it's something that we pay a lot of lip service to, but we don't necessarily go in depth to. And it's a thing called values, you know. So values are really, really important, because values define self. Values actually allow us to go, hey, that's acceptable and that's not acceptable, okay? And we make, every decision that we make every day is based on one value versus another, or a group of values versus a group of another, or a group of values versus one value. And the biggest value that we use within our decision-making process is a safety value. Now, whether that be connection to others, you know, we compromise our values for others, you know. So to be aware of what drives you and what is valuable to you in your life, you know. And we work for so many organisations where we go, oh, the values of this organisation, this, we give values so much lip service. But I tell you what, if you can get in touch with your values, you can then make value-oriented decisions every day, which then give you significance, they give you meaning, and they give you purpose. And that drives you through any challenge that you set up for yourself. And note I say the challenge that you set up for yourself, because when you get to that space of empowerment, you know, that's the space where you go, right, what is it that I want to do, and what is it I want to achieve? And I'm going to invite, and the key word here is invitation. I'm going to invite all of these so-called limiting aspects of self along with me on this journey, because I know that they're going to appear. And when they do appear, I'll be able to address them in the way, because I have created the environment for them, and they're not going to surprise me. So awareness of the mind, awareness of your mind, and awareness of your values. So if you got those three things down, you know, it's a really good foundation to then work through and move through whatever you want in life.
Yeah, fantastic.
Pretty powerful stuff.
It is so powerful. It's like, whoa, I'm just, you know, digesting all of that and going, yes, and relating to it. Yeah, it's just awesome. It's giving me goosebumps again. When I really feel connected with what people are saying, it just, you know, comes all through me. It's just incredible. So, yeah, I just love what you're doing. I just love the whole correlation with the garden, the mind, everything. So overall, what are you really most passionate about, Maurice?
Wow. Okay. I thought about that question quite deeply, as I do, and the most passionate, what I'm really passionate about is basically empowering others to reach full potential within themselves, within their professional and their personal lives. Now, when people go, oh, that's lovely, Maurice, good on you, you know, but what does that mean? And the crux of it is that to connect with yourself, okay? And the deeper connection that you have with yourself, the deeper you will be able to connect with others, to be able to connect with life, to be able to connect with everything that goes on around you. Because, you know, you are the most powerful person in the universe, in your universe. You know, and I think that we just don't see ourselves in that way. We beat ourselves down, we play ourselves down, we compare ourselves to others. You know, we distract ourselves away from ourselves, and we don't really spend too much time with ourselves. Yeah. And when people come to work with me, you know, the key phrase is, and I'll say it to people, is say, look, bring it back to self, because everything that you are experiencing, you know, we don't see the world as it is, we see it as we see it. Yeah. You know, Carl Jung said you can't see anything outside of yourself. Henry Ford, you know, was whether you believe it's right or wrong, you're always right. You know, so it's so important that we get our own story, our own script, our own understanding, and that connection to self. And that's what I'm really passionate about. And you can probably tell that, you know, as that's what I'm passionate about for others, that's really what's I'm passionate about for myself. Yep. You know, it's the deeper connection that I have with myself, the more I can then share that with others as well. Yeah.
It's just awesome. It's just so true. It's just awesome. It's just very powerful. I just love it. So, you know, thank you for your time today. I could chat with you forever and ever, but everyone makes some money as well. People want to get in further contact with you or find out some more information about what you're doing. Where can I send them?
Yeah, okay. Look, I've got a website called skillfulthinking.com. It's skilful thinking.com. Yep. You can also catch me on Facebook, and through the same, there's a Skillful Thinking page. Now, there's a heap of videos that I just throw up there talking about these concepts.
Right.
And I've just learnt this new video scribe where it's like a whiteboard, you know, where the whiteboard draws some stuff out. Because what I found is that people learn in particular different ways, and it's a real visual way to learn. So you've got some audio and some visual stuff there. Yeah, so people can contact me via that as well too.
Fantastic. Maurice, it's been such a pleasure to chat with you, and I really thank you for allowing me to interview you today and spend some time with you. And just awesome. And so anyway, I'd like to chat again down the track, but I just want to say thank you very much for that kind of magic mic today, and spending a moment with me. And so we'll chat to you again soon. So thanks again, Maurice, and see you later.
Beautiful. Thanks, Sal, for the opportunity. Really appreciate it.
Okay, darling. Bye.